what I want to share with you here is something that's really special. And even though I call it the disciplines of the superseller or the sales professional, just to make sure that I'm on track with what I want to present here, and the 8 points that I want to share is I've spent time talking with sales managers and sales supervisors and even one sales director more recently. And to a T, each one of them have said, yes, these are issues that we're dealing with constantly, but in the past 5 or 10 years, each of those issues has now become something that's been sliding backwards instead of improving. So allow me to share these 8 points because they're crucial to your growth. And they're also so important that if you follow them properly, I'm sure that your sales will not only improve, but they'll skyrocket. And this is why I keep on bringing these things up and to your attention, because the whole purpose of this training module or series of modules is to improve your selling by at least 300%. That's a massive change, and it's also a massive growth. So the first of these that I want to share today is, would you pass a sales kit inspection? And you know, just about every sales manager says most of the people we have working for us wouldn't. They do everything that you say they shouldn't be doing. They've got contracts which are dog-eared. They've got information in their briefcase that shouldn't be there. Pens are floating around instead of being secured in a specific spot, and when they need to look for something, it's not easily found. The second thing is the loyalty to the company. And I just simply ask, how would you rate your loyalty to the company? And most people say most of the people selling for them are not overly loyal at all. They turn up for work, they expect a paycheck at the end of the week, they'll produce whatever they believe is possible, but it stays there. Now, loyalty is such an important issue because the more loyal you are, the more you radiate that special something that draws your prospects to you. Third point, are your results rated in ups and downs? Now, the average person will have a high one week, a low the next week. They're all over the place. Sometimes I go for 3 or 4 days, no sale. Other times they excel in their selling. They're not reliable. And yet the professionals in the sales industry are streamlined in such a way that their results are constant. And they've got goals, they've got visions, and they work those goals and visions with checklists to make sure their results never go up and down. The minute their results go up and down, their manager knows that they're no longer on track. That's how important that is. The fourth point, do you ever dwell on the things you did wrong? Now, we all know about the law of attraction. We can attract good things to us and we can attract bad things to us. If our mindset is based on things which are going wrong or things that you didn't do right, guess what? You're going to attract the things you don't want to attract. But the other thing is, your prospect knows that there's something wrong. And the minute your prospects can sense something is wrong, guess what happens? They start to doubt. And in most cases, doubters are not buyers. So be very careful about where your mindset's at. Leave your negative mindset for the weekend if you want, but keep a positive mindset Monday to Friday. The fifth point that I bring up, that's a sore point with me, a real bad sore point. Do you say, I passed my quota? What most salespeople don't realise, quotas are the basic. They're the bottom line. You can't go below a quota too far because you're now running in lost territory. You need to be above your quota for your business, for your business, your customers, and even for your superiors to know that they're in profit. A business cannot survive in a plateau mode. It's either making money or it's losing money. And that's why quotas are so important. The sixth point I bring up is, do you invent excuses when you don't do well? And I bring up the fact that winners don't have excuses, but losers always have an excuse for everything. So be very careful, because you'll be branded by the amount of excuses you come up with. And that's why, as a manager, sales director, and business owner, over the years, I didn't enjoy people bringing excuses to anything, because I knew that sooner or later what they were doing would bite them on the bum, and they were no longer employable at that particular point. That's how important this issue is. Now, if you want something that's really a pet hate of mine, is this seventh point. Do you enjoy paperwork, or is it a drag to you? As a manager, year after year after year, I watched people almost destroy the company they were working for because their paperwork was pathetic. And instead of taking notes during the presentation so they could then use those notes to confirm and close the sale, these people had nothing. And when it came to the paperwork after the event, they were scratching their head wondering what transpired during the call. Now, if they made a sale, it becomes even worse, because then how do you follow up on what they didn't do, because the paperwork is so pathetic? On the other hand, if they didn't make the sale, they never had any paperwork to go back to that person to know what the hot buttons were to sell them what they should have sold them in the first place. Paperwork is such an important issue, and salespeople don't get it. And the last point, which is the eighth point, do you ever say, my customers don't cooperate? Well, hang on. Why would your customers not want to cooperate with you? You know, in a lot of cases, customers don't cooperate because of what you say and what you do. And I spend time expending this to the point where you will understand why this one issue is such an important issue. And before I actually unveil this video, I just want to talk about 4 factors which are so important that create discipline in selling. The first is pride. If you don't have pride in yourself and your company and the product you sell, you then have an issue to grapple with. Integrity. If you ever challenge the integrity of how the company operates, how you should be operating, how your management operates, I don't think you really have a future in that company or in sales. The third is accountability. How important is accountability? Everybody in sales that's accountable is usually at the top of their game, earning big dollars. They know what they should be doing, they know what they should be accountable for, and they don't hold back on accountability. And the fourth factor is follow through. If you don't have a follow through, why do you make the sale in the first place? It's in the follow through that you will get referrals. You know, the interesting thing is, I know statistics that tell me that generally no more than 20% of people in sales will ever follow through. And the ones that do follow through, it generally takes around 4 or 5 calls with that particular prospect or customer before referrals are then volunteered. But once those referrals are volunteered, that first time, follow through again, you'll get more referrals. Follow through again, you get more referrals. Why? Because every one of your customers wants to see you succeed. Nobody wants to work or buy from a non-successful salesperson. Now, I've given you plenty to think about, and rightfully so, but what you need to do with this is to take it on board, go through the video. I will comment again personally on every one of those points that I bring up. But I do that because this is such an important issue that once salespeople get hold of it and work it effectively, their sales don't stay where they are. They increase in leaps and bounds. So if you need to, go back, watch this video over and over and over, because every time you do and you take notes, you'll learn a little more about what you should be doing and how you should be doing it. I also provide examples, personal examples of how I accelerated my own sales because of the situations I was in. And it doesn't make me superior to you. I just want to show you examples that you can follow, and you too can go to those heights if you dare to, because it's all in the want, and it's all in the manifestation of that want. Attract the good things to you, and you'll live in the world of the law of attraction. Attract the bad things to you, and you'll dread living in that world where you're not selling up to your full potential. The choice here is yours and yours alone.